episode 131 of the Thunder Underground podcast. My name's Trent. I'm here with Jason, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, buckle up.
Buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
You're goddamn right.
It should be a smooth one, actually.
What's that, from Speed or some shit?
I don't know. It just seemed like it flowed like it was in my head somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So it's from one of those movies.
From something.
Yeah.
Hopefully with Keanu Reeves.
Right? What was it? Walk Among the Clouds? Or what was that stupid movie?
I have no idea.
I'm trying to think of the worst Keanu Reeves movies.
You've already lost me.
Devil's Advocate.
You've already lost me. I'm leaving right now.
Okay.
You can do this by yourself.
All right. Hey, I didn't watch Matrix for years because I didn't like Keanu Reeves, but everybody just said you got to watch it because it's great in spite of him, and they were right. You know?
Well,
and now I kind of like him again.
I only watched the first one, and I'm too dumb for that shit. And I didn't watch the other ones because that shit's just over my head.
Well, here's the thing. Matrix 2 and 3,
yeah,
Monica Bellucci's in them, so it doesn't have to.
Your,
it doesn't have
woman.
to be at your. It can be over your head, and you can still appreciate. Well, let's quit talking about Keanu Reeves.
Okay,
we're going to talk about
Jesus.
We're going to talk about 5 concerts.
5 concerts?
Yeah, we don't have a guest this week. We've actually got recorded episodes, but this is going to be lengthy enough on its own, I think. So
yeah, exactly.
We're just going to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, you're just stuck with us this week, people. Sorry.
Yeah. But hey, if you love guests, guess what?
Oh, man.
We've got some good ones coming here soon.
Stacked.
Yeah, we've got a recorded episode with Bruce Kulick, who you know and love from Kiss. We've got a recorded episode with Doc Coyle.
Yes.
Formerly of God Forbid. He's got 2 great new bands, and he does a ton of other things.
He's doing all kinds of cool shit.
Then we've got a recorded episode with our old friends, at least a year old, in 3D In Your Face.
There you go.
They made a return to Rocklahoma. Talk to these guys again. And then we've even got an episode coming soon with Grind.
That's
some
right.
New music coming from them. So all in the next 2 or 3 weeks, be looking for this stuff.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts.
Yeah. And you know where you can listen to it? SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. YouTube.com/The Thunder Underground. And 102.7 WSNR.com.
That's right.
Thank you to them putting us on every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central.
We also are on MySpace.com/TomIsMyFriend.
Yes, and we're on Grindr.com/Jason signed us up for this.com.
You son of a bitch.
Well,
okay, so what? Yeah.
Let's talk about music. This past week, there were several shows, but we're going to have to jump back a couple weeks.
Yes, yeah.
Because
we don't want to forget nothing.
Yeah, we held this off for the last episode because, just so we could talk about it with all this other stuff. But we've seen a lot of great legendary artists in the last couple weeks, as well as some newer artists that are as great as well, that span the spectrum. Mm-hmm. But it started with Sammy Hagar and The Circle.
Yes.
And if you're not familiar with the Circle part, that is the band that he has been touring with for about a year or 2, has consisted of Jason Bonham on drums, Vic Johnson, who has been his longtime solo guitarist on guitar, and then, of course, Michael Anthony on bass.
Yes.
And what they do is they, of course, play all the Sammy stuff. They play Van Halen stuff. They play Montrose stuff. And then they play Led Zeppelin stuff since Jason Bonham's there. And it's kind of the circle of their careers, basically.
Full circle.
Yeah, there you go. And I've seen Sammy several times in my life, and it's one of those things that this guy could play 7 nights a week, and I would go 7 nights a week unless I had some kind of family event obstructing one of those nights.
Yeah.
I wouldn't, it wouldn't get old to me because that's how much I like this guy.
Yeah.
When you talk about this band, I'm just like, he's one of my, you can say he's one of my favorite artists. You say that about a bunch of people. You can't have 500 favorite artists, but he's up there for me. And Michael Anthony is as well, just all-time favorite people at what they do.
Yeah.
Just because he's such an important part of Van Halen that a lot of your casual fans don't realize how important he was as far as that voice, the background vocals and everything. He added so much to all those Van Halen albums, and he's just one of the funnest guys you can watch live. Just like it fits perfectly with Sammy. That's why these guys still are friends and play together years after.
They gel so well together.
Yeah. because they both love what they do and they have fun doing it. But besides that, yeah, musically, the chemistry's always been there.
Definitely. You know, for me, I knew of Sammy Hagar. You know, who didn't know I Can't Drive 55? You know, in 1984. But he didn't really come on my radar till I heard him with Van Halen, and I don't know what it was, you know, that just struck me. I guess it was I don't know, his voice, the accessibility of the music, even though it was still, excuse me, you know, still rocking, you know, to use kind of a cliche term there. And also, that hooked me, but I like Sammy's vibe. I like his positivity. I like his outlook. I've read his book. You know, I watched his TV show on Axis. I love it. It's, and, you know, all of his solo stuff he's done. And it's, you know, this guy's 70 years old, 69, 70, and he's still up there giving everything, jumping off the drum riser, you know, just soloing his ass off. And it's like this thing that I can't really place it where he's of the classic rock ilk. He's of the 70s and 80s, but he doesn't seem like old guy rock to me, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, because he's just so good and he transcends that. And, he's just such a talent and he's such a personality. And this show is no different.
Yeah, it's, the fun, you know, aspect always adds to it.
Yeah.
And this show is no different. I remember seeing him like 10 years ago at the Brady when he was doing that tour Michael Anthony was a part of as well.
I was there.
Where it was like
they had the bar on stage and all that shit.
Yeah, it was called like, I don't remember if it was called Cabo Wabo or it has some kind of Cabo theme to it, you know, because I think that's when he still had the tequila before he sold that off. But like, you know, out there in the lobby.
Yeah.
It was at the Brady. They had everything decked out as well.
Yeah.
Looking islandy and palm trees and all that stuff. And I guess they did that every show, sometimes outside or inside. And it's just that kind of atmosphere. And then at this show, you know, that wasn't there, but you still feel like this is just great fun. And this is the way life is supposed to be. And the band sounds, I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever seen Jason Bonham live.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, I've loved, you know, would give a left nut to see Black Country Communion live, you know, so maybe we'll hopefully get to see him again. But, you know, that dude's amazing. And then you can't say enough about Vic Johnson because he's like kind of the unheralded guy.
Yeah.
And this guy is having to stand on stage and play Eddie Van Halen, Ronnie Montrose, Joe Satriani, because they played a Chickenfoot song.
That's right.
You know, and
Jimmy Page.
Yeah, Jimmy Page.
He draws from so much and he pulls it off. And it would seem to me that he probably maybe should feel the most pressure from this stuff, but he was flawless at it.
Yeah. The only thing I noticed was when he played, you know, obviously the Sammy stuff, he's been playing that for years, and a lot of it he was recorded. You know, he was the guitarist on like Mass Tequila and a couple of the newer songs they played, but you know, he's been playing other stuff for years, and as well as Van Halen. But with the Montrose stuff, it sounded perfect.
Yeah.
Like it had that deep, heavy tone that Montrose had. And even the same thing with the Chickenfoot. Van Halen sounded a little different, but it's, I mean, how many people in this world can match Eddie Van Halen's tone?
That's right.
But it's not saying it was bad. It just, the sound was a little different.
Yeah.
He still played it perfectly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And they played Pound Cake. And I think the night before, or the show before, they played Runaround, which I was really excited for, but they played Top of the World instead, so I can't complain about that. You know, and that was just, but one of the highlights for me, you know, I was like one of those geeks. I was like, man, I wish there was a little less Zeppelin, even though I love Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I just want more Sammy, because that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But we knew going into it, because that's part of what this tour is. But when they played When the Levee Breaks.
Oh, man. The fog came out. Yeah. And Jason Bonham just started doing that signature drum beat.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you felt that in like your sub testicles.
Right.
You know?
But that's the thing. It's all four of them just did it so perfectly. And Sammy's voice on that was amazing. And what's funny about that is what we just talked about, how fun.
Yes.
a show it is, that's like the least fun song of every song they played. It was like the most serious song, right? But it's like the thing that stuck with me. So that's kind of odd, I guess. But still, it's just, they pulled it off amazing. And I know they switched around some of those Zeppelin songs too, but it's just an amazing show and a fun time that I can't.
Yeah. And who else will like grab shit from people in the front row during a guitar solo and sign autographs and shit?
Yeah.
I mean, and that just adds to the fun of it.
Yeah, he's always done that, And every time I go, I remember as soon as I get there, I'm like, shit, I should have brought something because he's going to sign everybody's stuff.
He's going to sign it, yeah. Yeah, and, if somebody has a license plate, he's going to show it to the crowd.
Yeah.
But, we had great seats. I mean, what an experience.
Yeah. Yeah, can't wait to see him again.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I'll go again.
Well, a couple weeks after that was this past weekend.
Yes.
And we kicked off this weekend by driving to Dallas, Texas for a band called Metallica.
You might have heard of them.
Yeah. They played Trees in Deep Ellum.
I wish.
Only 800 people were in there. We're lucky enough to be two of them.
Jeez, I fucking wish, man. Did you know I read a stat this tour they're on? I can't remember how many megawatts, but each show produces enough electricity to power 1,800 homes for a month. I'm not fucking shitting you.
Wow.
And it took people 640 hours to program all the light show.
Really?
That's just like the two that I can remember from the list I read today.
It took him 640 hours ahead of time to set everything up.
Yeah, I'm sure just however long, when they designed it, months ago or whatever. But I mean, there's an article on, I don't like to say the name of the magazine because usually it's not even good enough to wipe your ass with. But there's an article and it breaks down all this, like they use like 48 fucking semi-trucks, just something ungodly.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got to be raking in millions per show.
They're the Madonna of metal.
Fucking A, something. It's insane. But anyway, sorry, I cut you off there.
Hey, that's what we're here to talk about.
But yeah, I mean,
how long has it been since you've seen Metallica? Was it the same time I saw him in Tulsa, or have you seen him since then? No, you went to Dallas.
In 2009 we went, and saw him at the American Airlines something or other. But we were way, way, way the fuck up there.
That was the one with Lamb of God and Gojira?
Yes. One word, Doc Coyle filled in for Mark Morton.
Hear more about that?
Yes.
In a coming soon podcast.
That's right. We asked him about it. It's awesome.
Yeah. So,
yeah, there you go. And so that was so what was that, 8 years?
Yeah.
This is my 9th time to see him.
Okay. This was my 6th or 5th?
Okay.
6th, I think, yeah.
They're my absolute favorite band in the whole entire fucking world. And they didn't disappoint. But we probably should, rewind a little bit and go over the whole show and whatnot. Sorry.
Well, no. I mean, Cowboys Stadium, one of the stops on this tour, is a massive freaking place to see a show.
Super massive.
I'd seen several football games there, but I saw Guns N' Roses there last year.
Mm.
And so the first thing that jumped out to me is that how similar these two things were, because the stage was basically the same size for both shows.
Yeah.
They both filled the place up, and it was just
the whole width of the field.
Yeah.
The width. Yeah.
Yeah, there was just maybe a tiny bit of space on each side of the stage before you got to the where the stands start. And it's just a massive undertaking that they have all these people in here, and you still have that room in the back to shoot off like fireworks and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I just, I was in my seat just looking around, and I mean, it was just so massive, and their seats just way up high. I mean, I had decent seats for Texas Stadium, but I was still pretty way up fucking high.
Yeah, but you're only like maybe halfway up.
Yes.
Right?
And it's like you see pictures on Facebook or whatever of people that were way up there.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's no fucking point of even going.
Yeah.
I mean, the stage itself was dwarfed. I mean, it was just insane.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was just such a massive show. I want to say it's probably the biggest show I've ever been to in my life.
You mean like crowd-wise or?
Crowd-wise, venue-wise, that kind of thing. I mean, I remember the crowd for Lollapalooza 96 being pretty goddamn big, but I'm pretty sure this dwarfed it.
Probably.
You know?
Well, we talked about the Maiden show in Tulsa last year, about how everything felt like an event, you know?
Yes.
Like, like old school shows. And this obviously is the same way. Mm-hmm. Like, we left, the morning of the show, we left from Tulsa. Well, from Broken Arrow, which is right outside of Tulsa. 2 blocks from my house, we stop at Come and Go.
You get fucking gas.
Yeah, you pull up to get gas. We step out of the car, and the dude in the next getting gas has on an Anthrax shirt.
So we knew where he was going.
And he's like, and I'm wearing a Mothership shirt, and he's like, fuck yeah, Mothership, and starts talking about Mothership. And I'm like, so I assume you're going to Metallica? He's like, damn right I'm going. Yeah. And he just starts telling a story about how he was one of the guys that won passes for the Snake Pit.
Yep.
And then we walk inside. There's a dude in there wearing a Pantera shirt. I didn't ask him if he's going. I'm just assuming.
Yeah.
And that's just how big this thing was. You know, Dallas is, I don't know how many miles, but it's 4.5 hours from here. And 2 blocks from the house, you know, you see 2 people that are doing the same thing you're doing, you know?
That's right. And you know, we'd stop at a gas station along the way, and there'd be dudes in Metallica shirts and metal shirts. You knew it was there. I mean, it was just, it was, you know, they really turned that stadium into a little Metallica city for the day.
Yeah. There's like a pop-up shop. We got there, met up with our friends, Kevin Graham, Rachel Graham, and Kevin had already been over there. You know, you could go in early, get merchandise and stuff if you wanted. And, you know, we stayed at a motel that was by Six Flags. It was less than 2 miles away, and it was completely full of people that were going to the show. And
it was all,
you know, so yeah, it's just like this big event feeling, you know.
A very community type kind of thing.
So, yeah, I mean, so the show starts. I went in there. I got the thing where I could get in early.
Because you're a warrior.
Yeah, I thought, you know what? I'm paying for a floor ticket anyway. I'm going to pay a little more and get on the floor early.
Yeah.
Why not? I'm already going to be standing down there. Rather than standing in a sea of assholes, I might as well be one of those people that have to stand up there for 8 hours holding my piss so I can get on the rail. And it worked out. I got on the rail. I didn't get like a prime spot, but I was on the rail. And I was on the left end of the stage, like in front of like the last big screen. And it was like the last, you know, they had microphones set up around the stage. So like every 20 feet or something, there'd be a place where James could sing if he wanted.
Yeah,
or,
exactly.
You know, Rob could sing backup, whatever, just wherever they stopped. And like the last, or the microphone in the center of the left side of the stage is where I was right in front of.
Okay.
So that's the first thing to point out. I talked about it with Guns N' Roses. I was kind of in the same general area, maybe a little bit better there. Mm-hmm. But your perception of what's going on gets completely fucking lost.
I bet.
Like, you know, I know where, you know, you had a different experience where you're seeing everything straight on. You can see everything that's going on. There were times where I didn't even, I'm like watching Rob or Kirk because they're over here.
Yeah.
And I look and I'm like, where the fuck is James? And then he's like out in the front of the snake pit, and he had been there singing the whole song, and I never knew it because you could see him on the screen behind the other guy, but you don't know where he's at. And then finally you kind of crane your neck back and he's like 20 yards behind you, stuck out in the middle of the crowd, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just kind of, it's a totally different experience, but it's completely worth it because, you know, he sang For Whom the Bell Tolls like 10 feet from me. You know,
Which is badass.
You can't really give that up just to say, I want to set up here and see the whole show on a grand level, which would have been cool to do. But like I said, I can give that up so I can say that I watched James Hetfield sing For Whom the Bell Tolls 10 feet from me.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah, that was worth it, totally.
Yeah. But yeah, also the other thing I want to point out before I forget was that side of the stage is where people walked in and out of the snake pit.
Yeah.
And of course, all of us staying here are extremely jealous of these people, not because their seat was a little better, but because they could come and go as they please and not lose their spot.
Yeah.
These people are leaving all the time to go get beers and piss and hot dogs and whatever. And we're just standing here like assholes from 4 p.m. to when the show ended, 11:30.
Yeah.
You know.
How bad did you need to pee afterwards?
I didn't need to pee well, afterwards it's pretty bad, but I didn't need to pee until about halfway through Metallica. So
that's
it worked
good.
out because
Yeah.
I had limited liquid intake throughout the day preparing, and then used the bathroom right before I went down there at about 3:15 because I got in line about 3:20, 3:30.
Okay.
And then, but anyway, yeah. So, and of these people coming and go out of Snake Pit, eventually that one dude walked by that we met at Come and Go, and
Yeah.
and he walked up, talked to me for a minute. He couldn't stay long because security would make people keep moving. But he's like, man, I'm so glad you made it up here. This is going to kick ass, and talked to him for a minute or two, and once or twice when he came by. And other than that, I saw both members of Local H go in there. I saw two of the guys from Avenged Sevenfold go in there.
Nice.
So, Avenged Sevenfold, they've done, Local H only did a few shows, but Avenged Sevenfold's doing every show almost. And these guys are still probably in awe of the fact they're playing a big stage. Even when they're not with Metallica, they play a big stage, but just like the rest of us, it's Metallica.
Yeah.
So they're using the opportunity to say, hell yeah, I'm going to go down here in the Snake Pit and watch Metallica.
Yeah, definitely. How could you not?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, okay, so before I keep rambling, let's hear your take of
my
it all
take
kicked
is,
off when you
I
got
was,
in there.
like I said, I was up in the stands, but I was only halfway up. I was a little to the side. I had a great view. I wasn't super, super far away.
Were you in the first row, weren't you, of the second
And I was
section?
the first row of the section. And I mean, it was just a great overview. And, I saw, some Facebook conversations between, our buddies John Stowe and Kevin Graham about how great it was on the floor. But at a certain time, they kind of wish they could have been in the stands somewhere and just took in the grandioseness of it all. If that's a word. If not, I just made it up. And that's true because it was just it had such impact. It was such an event, and, there was always something to watch, and, the big fucking balloons, for the first two Hardwired songs, which were fucking cool looking. They should have kept them up the whole time, or, the pyro and everything going on the screen, and, the snake, and it was just so cool to see everything. And, I was just at a great point to see it. Like I said earlier, if I was section 718, I would have just went home. But I mean, this is, the set list was fucking cool because, they're pretty much keeping everything the same, except for just a couple places where they'll plug in stuff. On their arena tours, they mix it up a little bit more, but you got these big stadium tours with more, more than just the meat and potatoes, hits, fans.
Casual fans.
Yeah, casual fans. They got to keep it pretty, and I understand that, but, you got the Memory Remains, which you don't hear all the time. It was just,
So when because we talked about it beforehand, that was one of the spots where they,
yes.
they were just, throughout this tour, they had just been rotating Creeping Death and Fuel.
Mm-hmm.
So when they started Memory Remains, were you geeking out a little as a big fan?
Yeah, I was like,
just
whoa,
it was
look
something
at this. One of these kids is doing his own thing. I was like, nice. I was like, really cool. They threw us a curveball. And,
I was like, me, obviously, like most people, I like Creeping Death better than Memory Remains.
Definitely.
So that's what I was hoping for.
yeah.
But then when I was obviously hoping for that over Fuel, but then when Memory Remains started, I was like a geek.
Yeah.
I'm just, because it came out of nowhere, so
That's right.
I'm just sitting there screaming along just like everybody else.
Yeah, you like that curveball. And, the performances were great. I really loved the big drums they brought out for Now That We're Dead.
Yeah.
I didn't know this, but until it happened, but they, a little drum set comes up in the Snake Pit and they do Seek and Destroy. I mean, they really thought of everything. They left no stone unturned. And, it's so hard to reach everybody in a stadium that fucking big. And maybe they didn't pull it off 100%, but they sure as hell tried.
Yeah.
And they really did a great job of it. And, I think that, I don't know if it was, my most favorite time I've ever seen him, but it was pretty memorable. And, it just,
It was my second most favorite.
What was your first?
The first time I saw him.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, that was my first. That's my favorite.
Just because I don't even remember things about it, but it's just because you know how you are when you're a kid and that's the first time you see him.
That's right.
You saw him for me. I saw him in 93 on the Shit in the Sheds tour.
Yeah.
And just that experience, just like this is one of the biggest bands in the world. And then now, all the other times are great, but that experience of being right up there in the front.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Puts it up there.
I mean, it was just, it was pretty special. I enjoyed it. I honestly I'm not gonna lie. I went into it thinking, this place is so big. I mean, I guess this will be cool, but I'm not gonna complain because they're my favorite band, but I wasn't expecting to be blown away.
Yeah. And
I was blown away. So.
Right.
It was worth the money.
Well, performance-wise, I mean, you obviously think they're great live.
Yeah, I mean, and I know I'm biased. They're my favorite band in the world. They could suck, and I'd probably still like them. But, I mean, like I said, it was just the enormity of the venue. I was just like, hey, this will be cool, something to do, But I just I didn't think I'd be blown away like, seeing them at the BOK Center a few years ago or 8 years ago or whenever it was,
Yeah.
So it was no complaints. And, Avenged did good. Local H was great. I thought they were way better than, I mean, I know they're good. They came across in that place way better than I thought they would.
Yeah, we kind of jumped over that, but that's the same thing I thought, I've always liked Local H. Mm-hmm. And for those of you listening, they were on this podcast.
That's right.
A couple months ago. So go check that out. That's the thing to point out is, they were on the Thunder Underground podcast, and then a month and a half later, they're opening up for Metallica. Is there a coincidence there? I don't think so.
Think not.
So you're welcome, Scott and Ryan.
And you know what?
Mixmaster Mike? Or no, where were you going with that?
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. You can edit this however or not. I don't give a fuck. I remembered my point. You heard all that controversy about the contest and Local H went in and blah, 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 fucking blah. Who gives a fuck? They got the votes. They won. Deal with it. And let's be honest, Local H are not a metal band, and that's a little out of the box for a big stadium tour that Metallica's headlining, but people seem to enjoy them.
Yeah.
People were getting into it, and rightly so, because they kicked ass. Here's two guys. This band is just two guys. Here's this gigantic fucking stadium. And they pulled it off.
Yeah. And they, have to stay in the middle because, he's the singer.
Yes.
So he can't, be running all over the place.
That's right.
So it's like two guys in the middle of a massive freaking stage and it still sounded big. It still sounded good. And I like the fact that it's like, if, say, Mothership or Shattered Sun had won that thing, maybe it would have benefited them more than it benefited Local H because there might be some metalheads there that were more into that. I don't know. But at the same time, as we've talked about before, it's always cool when you go to a show and it's like, there's a good mix of diversity. Yeah. And this totally was with 4 bands that have a lot of different things going on.
Exactly.
Well, I say 4 bands. Mixmaster Mike was the other thing to point out. It's like, obviously, neither one of us, especially you, are fans of DJs, but I've always been one, if it's a DJ playing music I like, hell, I'll sit there and listen to it. And the thing is, people can complain about a DJ all they want, but he played it from 5 to 6, and then again from 8:05 to 8:45, I think, right? Like from between Avenged and Metallica. And if he wasn't there, you'd just be standing there listening to AC/DC and ZZ Top coming through the speakers.
Yep, exactly.
At a lower level.
Yeah. And this way, you got deep cuts, and it was played loud.
Yeah.
I can't remember what song they were playing. I think it was a White Zombie song. Mixmaster Mike was playing. I could be wrong. And then it kind of came to a breakdown, and all of a sudden, you hear Alice in Chains, Check My Brain.
Yeah.
And it's like, he could have picked a million Alice in Chains songs, but he picked like a new one.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. He didn't go the usual Man in the Box or whatever.
Right.
He did something different. And He played Symphony of Destruction, and
he played Tornado of Souls twice.
yes, that's right.
And no, Holy Wars.
It was
sorry.
Holy Wars,
And-
yeah. And then it went into Stand Up and Shout.
Yeah.
And I told you, it made me think of those times when we were fucking kids and we were making like little, Segway tapes because we're fucking metal dorks.
Yeah.
We were making little, we would literally dub tapes, like a few seconds of one song and do a few seconds of another song.
Try who could make the coolest.
Who could make the coolest
combination.
Because, when we're like 13, because we're dorks. And, it just reminded me of that. And it really, I think that was a great idea having them out, for that tour.
Yeah.
It's just it's way better than just, like you said, listening to, fucking Sharp Dressed Man 100 times over.
And see, the thing is, I would have loved to have seen the Beastie Boys live.
Mm-hmm.
Never got the chance. And I mean,
Yeah.
obviously this is totally different than what they would have been like live, but hey, you're seeing a guy from a legendary act,
Yeah,
that you'll probably never get the chance to see again.
that's right.
So, I mean, that was cool. Like we said, Local H was cool. And then we had Avenged Sevenfold.
Yes.
And
yes.
I gotta say, I've always liked Avenged Sevenfold.
Me too.
I know you have too. When they came out or kind of got known, I think like most people that weren't following them until they kind of hit was with the second album, City of Evil.
Yeah.
And then went back to the first album. I loved both those. And then, as the stuff kept coming out, I liked it. I always kept track of them. I've listened to everything, but just somewhere along the way, I just kind of became indifferent. Mm-hmm. Like they could come here and I wouldn't even go because I just didn't care. Doesn't mean I didn't like them, but when I saw them at this show, every bit of indifference that I had gained was washed away.
That's right.
I completely refound my love for these guys because they exceptional, live band, like the two guitarists, you can't say enough great things about how good they are. We already knew that.
And they do the shit in sync, which I love. They do the double, so all that shit.
And we've made the jokes ourselves. Everybody else does about how these guys sound like Metallica. They sound like Guns N' Roses, whatever. To me, that's what they've always been, a band that was just kind of, you have a plane and it has Metallica on one end and Guns N' Roses on the other end, like dead center. And hey, to me, that's great because you need that shit.
That's right. And you know what? I like that album. I don't give a fuck.
I'm just,
I never said I didn't like that album.
I'm just talking about everything in general.
Yeah, oh no, I get it. And I think City of Evil is their third record, not their second.
Okay, sorry, yeah.
I just
right.
keeping you honest, right?
Right.
We're running a podcast here. God damn it.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
But also, when you see M Shadows live, it's more evident than ever that he really wants to be Axl Rose. And hey, I can't blame him.
He's got the flannel.
Yeah, he's got the flannel. He's got the stage move, kind of. He's just like, Seize the Day was always a GNR ripoff. It's just like, hey, it's like, that's great too, because, it's like, if they're not emulating these bands, they'd be emulating something that sucks, maybe. So it's like,
exactly.
Hey, that's a good thing. And I can't, it's very rare anymore that a band's going to get big doing something that you've never heard anyway.
Yeah.
And like we've said a million times, we need bands like Avenged Sevenfold to get as big as possible.
That's
because
right.
10 years from now, who's going to take the spot of, Metallica, Aerosmith, Rolling Stones, Kiss,
right.
when all these bands, start going away.
And everybody says Avenged and God,
that's it.
Like
I mean, Foo Fighters.
Death Punch or Foo Fighters or something. And, like it or not, people, that's who we've got. And, we've got to support them. And, well, maybe not Five Finger Death Punch, but
Right.
anyways, that's another. But yeah, I know what you mean, and you're right. And, it was just a fucking great night. It was a great show, and it went off way better than I'd hoped. And I'm still thinking about it, it's still ringing in my head.
Have you ever seen him play Motor Breath live?
I don't know. That's a good question. I should look that up.
Because
I want to say yes, but I don't know.
Because one of the tracks they rotate is like mid-set, they play Kill 'Em All track, and
it's usually like you never know if you're going to hit the lights or, No Remorse. I don't know. They played No Remorse at the BOK Center, and that was fucking rad.
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Yeah. But we got Blackened as well.
Yeah.
You know, Battery is my favorite song. I'm always a little sad if they don't play it, but I'll give it up for Blackened and Motor Breath. So
Blackened was great, and I got a Blackened story. Afterwards, I'm looking for my exit, and I run into Chase and Colton and Brittany from Less Than Human, and I was like, hey! And like, they didn't even say hey or anything. They just go, Blackened! You know, and I'm like, yeah! They fucking played it! You know, I mean, that was badass. I think people really, really liked when they started playing that song. It was like, holy shit, we didn't know they were going to do this.
Yeah.
It was super awesome.
Well, another thing, did you hear people around you talking, or did you talk to anybody? Like, as far as, because I noticed, I talked to the guy next to me, and then, you know, I heard people behind me talking. Like, it was all over obviously, like you imagine in a stadium. The guy next to me, it was the first time he'd ever seen him.
Yeah.
And he was on the reel. So he was like flipping out. And then the guy behind me had said he had seen him like 14 times, but he hasn't seen him since the 90s. So he saw him 14
Holy
times,
fuck.
you know, in the heydays.
Yeah,
you know?
no shit.
So it was just like completely all over the board. And then the guy behind me, I think, I didn't ever ask him, but he was speaking to another guy in Spanish the whole time. And then he started talking to a guy in English. And I hadn't talked to him. And then he got one of Lars's drumsticks at the end.
Yes.
And then he just like buried his head in my back and was just like shaking. And then he finally came up and said, I'm so sorry. I'm like, hey, it's cool. And he's like, man, I'm freaking out. This is like one of the greatest things that's ever happened. Because he threw his Mexico flag to Lars for the drumstick. And so I guess he traveled from Mexico. So, you know, hey,
awesome.
It's just one of those bands
That's right.
that people are passionate about, you know?
Yep. And I get it, because they're my favorite band in the world. They're the best band in the world. They're the Led Zeppelin of our generation. They can do no wrong. And if you don't like that, go eat a dick.
Right? Well, and another thing is, I don't know if Kevin Graham has uploaded it to YouTube, but he has an exceptional video of Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Rob's bass solo.
Straight on. It's amazing.
He played Anesthesia, Pulling Teeth.
Yes.
And, you know, which is really cool because up on the screen, you know, a couple of screens are Rob live, and then the other screens are Cliff, you know, from that, was it that Day on the Green performance? It's always that outside one that they always show of him headbanging.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, like I said, he stopped and did it right in front of Kevin, and he was on the reel on, you know, in front of the snake pit, and had a dead on shot of him doing it. So
it was badass.
Look that up on YouTube.
Hell yeah.
Well, that was the Friday night.
Yes.
So we got up the next day in Dallas, and we drove from Dallas to Fort Smith, Arkansas, because our buddies in Reliance Code
having a CD release party.
Yep. This thing finally came out. Finding Your Way Out is the name of the album. This thing just released. That was actually the first. I think it came out digitally the week before, and then everyone that entered this show got a CD, which was a great idea.
Yes.
They had Screaming Red Mutiny, The Revolutioners, and Vague Vendetta on this bill with them.
What a lineup.
Yeah, exceptional lineup at an amazing venue.
Yes.
This was the first time you had been to the sound room.
This venue was insane. It was such it's a great idea. It's smart, and just, you know, the look of it. What a great place.
Yeah. I'd been there in a while since it was the previous place that it was before the sound room.
Okay.
But I always loved every show I saw there, so I was really excited to get back there. And yeah, I just love, it's got the indoor-outdoor feel and upper level. Everything's just really well set up, and just a really fun place, and sounds great and everything. So really excited to go this because we like all four of these bands. You've heard us talk about all of them.
That's right.
But right out the gate, it was just cool because there was a great turnout. And not only that, we saw people, you know, from Tulsa as well.
Yes.
You know, like we saw CJ from Grind, Paulette and Vernon from Fist of Rage. You know, there was like Christy, Gross, and Eric. You know, Christy came clear from Ada.
That's dedication, and that's something I want to talk about real quick, if you don't mind.
Well, no.
You know, this scene that we're doing with, you know, these Oklahoma bands, these Tulsa bands, these Arkansas bands, whatever, however you want to call it. You know, this is what we've needed. You know, I mean, you know, Christy Gross did not drive, you know, all the way from Ada for a signed band or a big band or Metallica or, you know, I know she loves Deftones or Killswitch Engage. She drove for, you know, these regional bands, upcoming bands that need this kind of support. And I mean, it's so cool to see. We came from out of town, Vernon and Paulette and CJ came from out of town. I mean, that's what's helping this out. That's what's helping this stay alive. And, when I played out, you didn't see none of that shit.
Yeah.
You played to, it was like Airheads. You played to, the other bands and their girlfriends. I mean, that's it. And, to see people, singing along to every word of these band songs. I mean, it's, I'm just so happy for these guys. And that's what we've needed. And I just hope that it grows and grows like that, because no telling what steps we can take next with this kind of support from the fans.
Yeah. And especially since it's crossing different cities too,
Yeah, exactly.
Technically Reliance Code isn't from Tulsa or Fort Smith.
Yeah.
They're from, they're closer to Fort Smith, but they're from Oklahoma, and they, kind of travel between the two places. And then, when you have fans coming from both sides, like you said, to see an upcoming band that isn't signed or isn't known, that's freaking amazing.
Yeah, people need, the coasts need to, they need to kind of notice what's going on over here.
Yeah.
It's great stuff to me. I love it.
Yeah. Well, Vague Vendetta kicked this thing off, and I'd seen him one time at Shooters in Fort Smith, but it was really cool to see him again, because I think I was a little, I'm going to talk about this again with the Revolutioners, a little inebriated the first time I saw him.
I see. That's fine.
So I'm a little fuzzy. I remember it being cool, but so this was really cool to be able to see a full show or full set whenever I was sober.
Nice. I mean, I'm sorry. I myself have never experienced that in my life.
Oh, well, okay.
I've never been drunk at a show ever.
That's right.
No, but I mean, the energy that Vague Vendetta, put out, their sound was amazing. The guitar players were just on point. The one guitar player is just that was insane.
Yeah, what were you saying? He was doing the sweet picking?
The sweet picking. Holy fuck. And he was, 21, 22? Because I can't do that, and I'm 40. I could never do that. I'm lucky I can get on an A chord. And this he's just sweet picking his ass off. And I was just like, wow, I'm just going to go home and break my guitar. Yeah. I'm going to burn it because I don't need to play it anymore. So, I mean, Vague Vendetta, thumbs up all the way.
Yeah. And they had some killer guitar riffs too, because I can't remember. I apologize. I can't remember the name of the songs, but like he mentioned, I don't like this song or something, joking about it. And that was and followed by this amazing guitar riff.
No shit.
And there were other songs like that. And, Tegan's voice is just so powerful. When you think of a female vocalist, you think of high pitched, pretty this and that or whatever. She's just got one of those, it's a woman, but it's more, what's the right word?
You're going to get your ass kicked.
Yeah, way more power to it. It's like we talked about with Through the Stone, it's just got, just something to it that just almost scares you a little bit. But it's like,
and that's okay.
Yeah, and she's just got such a great presence on stage too.
Definitely.
And they're great people too. We talked to them beforehand, talked to Brian afterwards, the drummer, and, some just really, they've only been around for about a year and a half, I think. So I'm really excited to see where they go.
Definitely.
They're coming here to Tulsa August 5th at the Vanguard as part of the Bands Against Suicide benefit thing.
Be there.
So be sure to check that out. That's got 10 bands on it. We'll talk about that more as it gets closer.
Yes.
Well, the Revolutioners. This is another band we saw at Halata Fest.
Yes.
And I just remember thinking, these guys are good. They had some energy, but I couldn't really remember a lot because it was one of the last couple bands that night. Yeah. And we'd consumed a little bit of alcohol. And I'd told the drummer, Jonathan DeGood, we talked to him afterwards, and I told him that. I was like, man, because CJ kept telling me, man, these guys are great. And I'm like, yeah, I saw them. They were cool. But then when I saw them this time, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, it was...
you can't... I don't want to geek out, but this band has fucking brought it, and you feel like this is a band that's like, this is big rock and roll. You know?
Unadulterated rock fucking power.
Yeah.
I mean, that singer is a rock star. I mean, already.
Yeah.
You know, fucking give him the big stage because he can do it. I mean, you had Presence. The guy can sing his fucking dick hole off. I mean, fucking, they had goddamn the songs, the riffs, the talent. I mean, this band is happening. Yeah. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and I was
super fucking impressed.
It's that great kind of that mid-range hard rock where it's like got the rock power to it, but it's not super heavy. It's like we talked about, like grind or something. Yeah. And like you said, you know, he ran loops around the lower level and the balcony level, and never, you know, singing while he's running and never lost it. Yeah. You know, his voice never wavered. Did, and you know, that band's just something to be reckoned with. They're at a Little Rock.
That's right.
So, you know, they
look for the Revolutionaries.
Yeah, I mean, they came in for the show as well, so and I know they play around, so if you ever get the chance to check them out, be sure and do that. And then we had our friends in Screaming Red Mutiny.
Hell yes.
And we've said good things about these guys plenty of times because they're one of the best bands in this area.
That's right.
Anywhere that you'll hear, you gotta, I can't say enough good things. Encumbered We Press, the EP. Yep. Phenomenal. And this lineup they have now is freaking great. And they just, Sprout is the true definition of a heavy metal, hard rock frontman. The guy knows how to bring it, and he's got power in his voice, you know.
And he does quite a jump off the drum riser.
Yeah.
And you know, I love this band. Sprout, you know, sings like crazy. And, you know, they've been through so much, and I'm just so glad they're still going. And, you know, they have that spirit, and they have that vibe, and it's just super infectious. Yeah. And, you know, every time you see them, it's like the first time. Right. It's so good.
Yeah, Nick, you know, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Nick's guitar tone, he's keeping this thing so true to where it started with John Harada, you know, and he just a great band. And we talked to Tony for quite a while beforehand, and, you know, he was telling us he listened to us all the time and, you know, gave us a lot of high praise, and that means a lot coming from this guy. Yeah. You know, because we were fans of his previous band, even the Dogs, and, you know, what he's doing now, of course. And they played, I think 3 new songs maybe. Okay. And every one of them seemed heavier than, you know, the stuff they had done before. That first one had a real kind of punk vibe to it. Yeah. And then the later ones were even heavy. Like towards the end, one of the last ones they did had a real, I think even CJ mentioned it, kind of had a Lamb of God feel to it and everything. And then we saw Tony again afterwards, and he said that, yeah, you haven't even heard our heaviest song. We didn't even play it. So
that's awesome. I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. So really looking forward to that.
That's right.
And then Reliance Code.
Yes.
Finding Your Way Out. The album is out. This was a celebration of that. They played every track off the album.
That's right.
And then they also played Seether.
Yes.
And then I think they played another song too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah. Another band we've said great things about countless times.
Oh yeah.
Because we love what these guys do. And yet again, seeing them live on this stage, all 5 of them, they look like they belong there, and they act like they belong there, and they already seem like seasoned vets and pros, even
it's
though
like they're ready for.
They're younger, and you know, they haven't done much stuff before this, you know.
Yeah, and you know, you could see this in an arena. Yeah, you know, Chris Law had a drum solo that was just like, it was a ball squasher. I mean, it was great.
Yeah, it was.
And you know, it really had a big show vibe to it in a smaller setting. It really had a headlining. I mean, it was just it was on point. And you know, they've got the hooks and they've got the riffs. You know, these guys are deadly.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, let's play a song now to let you all know what we're talking about. Taking Control from Finding Your Way Out, Reliance Code. 8 tracks on that album. Hashtag all killer, no filler.
Damn right.
Pick that thing up. Like I said, it's available digital. Spotify, iTunes, Amazon. Hit these guys up on Facebook if you want a physical copy. Go to a show. They're playing Tulsa on July 15th at Steve Murdoch's birthday bash at the Shrine.
Nice.
So if you're in the Tulsa area, yeah, get your ass out there. Well, that was Saturday night.
Yes.
Next day, Father's Day. Shout out to all our fathers.
All the dads.
Yeah. Had a good day with my dad. Shout out to your dad, because he was badass.
That's right. And he's still badass from beyond the grave.
Yes. Well, the next day, Monday.
That's right.
Iron Maiden came to town. Oklahoma. Sorry, they came to Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City.
So we made another short road trip.
We haven't even talked about this.
Right.
Because you just got back in town today.
Yeah, or late last night.
So, I mean, I don't even know where to start. I mean, fuck it, I'll just start.
All right.
I want to tell you something. I have a little story.
Okay. Hopefully that's good.
Yeah, it is. I got there, got to my seat, and I had the lower section, the 100 section, 107, first row,
right,
seat 11. And I thought, man, I'm going to be right there. It's going to be, my row and then the floor. And then I didn't know how close the section 107 would be. Well, it's the section that's like exactly perpendicular with the stage. Like, I could have spit on Adrian Smith.
Right.
That's how close I was. But when I sat down, I was absolutely perpendicular with the stage. I was blocked by speakers and lights. Couldn't see anything. And I was like, holy shit, are you kidding me?
It's weird that they sold that,
And that's where I'm getting to.
Okay.
I sat down and the usher lady, she came up to me. She goes, "Sir, you need to go find your seat. They didn't sell this seat." I said, "Oh, but they did." And I handed her my ticket. And she goes, "Wow, they sold this seat? You can't see anything." And I said, "Well, it's my seat." And she just kind of looked at me like, "Oh, well, fuck you, fat boy." And she goes, "Well, enjoy the show." And I said, "Well, I'll try." And so I thought, son of a bitch. And the show started, and there was two guys next to me, to the right of me. And then there was nobody in the row at all after them.
Like going further out?
Yeah, going further out. So I, Ghost started, and you could see Papa just like peek his nose out. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to go find somewhere else to sit. But at the same time, I knew that there's those ramps, and Bruce Dickinson would be like right there in my face.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do I do, Well, those two guys scooted down a couple seats, and so I did, and it was just a perfect view. But it was still, Ghost had so much lights and shit on the sides of the stage.
Right.
I just saw them when they would come right up to the edge. But it was still great. Ghost sounded great. They had a great set list. People loved them. They played Absolution, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite Ghost songs. And then that was great. For Iron Maiden, they cleared away a ton of shit.
Yeah.
And it ended up being the one of the best concert experiences I've ever had in my life. I was, right up in front of everybody. I mean, it sounded great. Bruce Dickinson would come up on that ramp and be right under me. You could see everything great. I mean, I just, at one point I sent you a picture of my view before the show started. And you were like, oh shit, because you bought the ticket and I had to pay you the money. And you were like, holy shit, I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry I got that ticket. And then once Iron Maiden came on and I just kind of saw how the layout was and how good I could see and how amazing the show was, I was like, you do not need to apologize. This is fucking amazing. I mean, it was just sensational, tremendous.
Yeah.
Any kind of fucking adjective. I was so close. And, I'd never been that close at a big arena show like that in my life. It was just, I was beside myself. It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, I got lucky on this.
Yeah.
Again, I won the first to the barrier pass.
Yeah.
So I got there in time to get in line for that. Same thing. Got down there early.
Holding more piss.
Yeah, got on the barrier and had to hold my piss for...
# hold your piss.
Yeah. because I was able to go right before we went down there, and then from basically 5:50 to whatever time it ended.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, so for me, this was, like you said, one of the best experiences ever. I'm on the rail. Last time I got clear up to like one person in front of me.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. And that Tulsa show to me, I still liked a little better just because maybe it was because it was the first time I had seen him that close.
Yeah.
And it was just the whole day. We've talked about how it was this big, huge event feel.
Mm-hmm.
This was a little more rushed because we just drove in Oklahoma City, then went over the venue and went in.
Yeah.
So it didn't have that same kind of vibe for me.
Yeah.
But being on the rail totally changed that as far as the experience of it all. Because I'm like dead center in front of Janik for like the whole show, acting like a freaking crazy guy, like he always does.
And his little prances and his kicks and his guitar moves.
And it's Steve Harris's, Mike right there. So I'm like, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I can't, you already said Ghost was great. They're great. I know there's people out there that don't like him, but it was crazy how I didn't hear any of that around me. I kept expecting, you always go to shows and there's always someone around you that's like, fuck you. Or like,
well,
or when he's like, this is our last song, like, fuck yeah, finally.
Yeah.
But there was none of that.
Yeah.
The two guys behind me, he was more excited about fucking Ghost and Iron Maiden. Like, he was explaining the guy next to me, like, that's number 3. Like, he knew every fucking thing. He knew more about Ghost than you. It was like, it was
well, the guy next to me was just headbanging the whole time, and I could see people on the floor singing every fucking word.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw no hate. And, of course, I got to shout out our buddy Trevor.
Right.
He was so close I could talk to him in between bands.
Really?
And he was going.
And he was on the rail too.
Yeah, he was going nuts for Ghost, and he had his burger hat on, and we love that guy. But I mean, it was just Ghost put on a great show.
One thing to point out is our buddy Jason Carroll.
Yes.
He's never said I hate Ghost, but he's just one of those people who's not a fan. He's like, I don't like anything I've heard. But like, I looked at my phone at the end of the set, and there was a text from him. I think he sent to you too. He's like, holy shit, these guys are definitely way better live.
Yeah.
At least to him. So
yeah,
maybe that's happening. Maybe people that are going to see Iron Maiden,
are getting it.
Changes their mind a little. I don't know.
It'd be great,
Then the other thing I noticed is Ghost seemed to, I don't know if they toned it down, but he didn't talk. He only said Hell Satan once, but he didn't say anything between, the songs.
Well, yeah,
they're playing to the audience,
set.
I think.
Yeah,
so maybe that's it. I mean, the imagery was still there, but yeah, just a great set for an opening set to
definitely
include all the songs they did, and sounded great. And anyway, but yeah, Maiden, it's just over the top. It's just one of the best shows you could ever see in your life.
I mean, and it's to the point where, these new songs from Book of Souls, they're classics already, and you look forward to them just as you do all the old stuff.
Yeah.
And, they just said, I loved the Eddie, the giant Eddie coming out, and Yannick was running in between his legs. And
yeah.
I mean, it's so theatrical, and, they're really good. Kind of like Metallica. They go that extra mile to make the guy way in the back feel like he saw a fucking show.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. And we love Iron Maiden. We love all the classic stuff like everybody else. But like you said, I walk away from it, I think the same way I did in Tulsa. The memories, for me, the best parts maybe were like when they played the Red and the Black or something.
Red and the Black.
Because it's just so,
Speed of Light.
It's just such an epic song.
That's
the
right.
solo is great. And it's just that whole extended band solo at the end. And then like the beginning with If Eternity Should Fail.
Yes.
It's just, that chorus is so huge. That's like, outside of, seeing Wrathchild or Power Slave or Wasted Years, I mean, it's like, that's what sticks in my head. And that's amazing that a band that legendary with that much legendary music can do that with their new music still to me.
I did love hearing Wasted Years and Iron Maiden, though. That was badass.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But, just with where I was, with how close I was to the band and how, how close I was to, the front row, the rail. I mean, if I didn't look back behind me and see a giant arena, I almost felt like I was in Brady Theater or something.
Yeah.
It was just, was so fucking cool, man.
But the other funny thing about it was, you're 3 days removed from seeing Metallica in Cowboy Stadium, that walking into the Chesapeake Arena, which is where the Thunder play, it felt small.
Felt small.
It was weird.
Small.
Like, I walked down on the floor and I'm like, this rail's so fucking short. You know, it's like, the rail I was on at Metallica, just that side of it was bigger than this is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like, it's just weird. Because, and I even told Tracy, you know, I'm like, I wonder if when Iron Maiden plays a place like this, if it's like when a band that's kind of big goes back and does some club shows. If like this is like their version of a club show.
Yeah,
you know?
no kidding.
And
no shit.
And that's another thing I wanted to mention. I don't know, you saw him at the end of the show talk about her, but the girl standing next to me was from Russia.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And
people come and travel and follow this band from all over, man.
Yeah, like, you know, he mentioned there are people from there from Canada and Honduras, but I asked her, I'm like, so what number is this? She's like, this is the 83rd time.
Son of a bitch,
that she'd seen him, and she was following him, like she was going from there to Houston and then San Antonio and then wherever she was in Salt Lake City, wherever that is on the tour list.
That's insane.
But yeah,
fandom.
So, yeah, it's just amazing that that's what this band does. And I mean,
right.
There was noticeably a lot less people than there was in Tulsa, but it's just still weird to me. But I know they're doing a lot of area shows, whereas that was just select shows in America, and now there's also a Dallas show, a Kansas City show.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So there's less people that would be traveling that would, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that when a band pulls like 9,000 people, that's considered not as big.
I know. It's crazy.
Like, that's a small show, a really small show for them.
Yeah.
But you still have people from all over the world there.
Exactly. Yeah, it was just, what a great night.
Yeah. It'll never get old. That's only the, third time?
Third time.
Yeah. And I hope I can see them many more, but I know they're one of those bands that are getting up there, so.
Definitely. Well, I'm glad we got it in then.
Yeah. Well, the final thing was I stayed in Oklahoma City.
That's right.
And the next night I went to something totally different than all this. It was like 90s rock extravaganza.
Yeah.
With Collective Soul. This was out at the Zoo Amphitheater in Oklahoma City. So an outdoor summer concert with Collective Soul headlining with Our Lady Peace and Tonic.
Nice.
And I was a fan of all three of these bands in the 90s. Still am. Big fan of Tonic. And they kicked this thing off. And, I mean, Tonic's one of those bands, they're not, you don't think of Tonic's like it's going to like tear up the stage, like going, energetic or anything. Their music's kind of like that, what do you call it, gentleman's rock or something.
Gentleman's rock. I like
it's like
that.
they have a few songs that have a heavy edge to them, but it's just that kind of, that mid-range rock and roll,
Yeah.
And Emerson Hart's just an amazing songwriter. Had the opportunity to see him do a solo show here in Tulsa last year. But I saw Tonic in New Orleans opening for Better Ezra a few years ago. Seeing him out here was great, but notably, I'd seen Iron Maiden like less than 24 hours before, and it was like the most stark contrast of anything ever, because, he's just got four dudes standing on stage in the middle of the fucking sun, playing You Wanted More. Whereas, 20 hours ago, I saw The Trooper live with Bruce Dickinson going apeshit.
Holy shit.
But not to say that that's not what you expect from Tonic. They sounded great. It was hotter than balls at that point because they started at 7 and the sun like shines directly on that stage.
Wow.
But they went through it. They played 8 songs, so they got like a 35, 40-minute set. And then they didn't play Casual Affair, which kind of made me sad, but I'll survive. Then Our Lady Peace came on.
Yeah.
And this was, I'll be honest, I like Tonic, like I said. I like Collective Soul. But I probably wouldn't have stayed in town for the show if Our Lady Peace wasn't on the bill.
Yeah, I see that.
Like, I'll go see Collective Soul and Tonic anytime, but after this long weekend, I probably just been like, let's go home. Yeah. But Tracy was the same way. She loved Our Lady Peace the most out of these three back then as well. So we're really excited for this. And I haven't seen them since, I don't know when the last time was. Saw them a few times, but it's been way back.
Yeah.
And they were probably my favorite band of all those bands of that era. That kind of alt rock. Mainly because his voice is so unique. The songwriting was so, at least until they got to Gravity, was so different.
Yeah.
Than everybody else was doing. But they did a great set of like mixing. They had, of course, most songs were from Clumsy, three or four, but then they had 2 songs from Gravity, 2 songs from Happiness is a Fish You Cannot Catch, and then they had, of course, Starseed, and then they had a brand new song, which, I'll be honest, of the 3 bands that played, that might have been my favorite point of the whole show, was this new song that Our Lady Peace played.
Awesome.
And it was heavy, it rocked, it, had his signature, with that voice that stands out, and it's just, I can't wait to hear what they got. He said they just got out of the studio, so I assume that's coming this year sometime.
Yeah. And
he'd even said it's been a long time since we've been to Oklahoma, and after this reception, we'll make sure it's
hopefully,
not.
Yeah, they'll be back, hopefully. Yeah.
And we saw him, at the Delaware Playhouse doing that acoustic thing?
That was amazing.
Yeah.
That was definitely a standout show.
Yeah. But yeah, so I was super excited to see them, and they lived up to my expectation. And the thing to point out with them live is they really pull off everything as far as this, because that band has a lot of different sound. Like when you think of the Happiness album, is real loose and alternative-y.
Yeah.
And then you get to Gravity that Bob Rock produced, where it's all thick and full and, huge and bombastic. When they played like Somewhere Out There and Innocent, those songs sounded huge and bombastic. And when they played One Man Army or Is Anybody Home, like it sounded loose.
Yeah.
And it didn't sound thick. Huh. So it's like they did a great job of capturing the same thing they did on the albums,
Nice.
Well, and Collective Soul headlined it, and this band, it's funny with this band because, even after Rocklahoma last year, I saw several people talk about how they didn't like them, didn't think they sounded good.
Mm-hmm.
And I even saw, a friend of mine posted on my post when I was there that said, she didn't think they were good live. And I don't get it. I don't hear it,
Yeah.
They sound great to me. He sounds good. They're one of those bands that comes across even a little heavier live, because they have, you think of Collective Soul, you think of 90s rock, you think of The World I Know or December. But, people forget about Where the River Flows or Why Part 2 or Simple. These songs are fucking hard rock songs, And they all sound great live, and they did a full-on, 16, 17 song set. And
what was the song they did with Elton John?
Oh, wow, I forgot about that.
That song was great.
I completely forgot about
something, that. Something day. Like a jealous day or something, I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
Well, no. But no, they even did a cover of Tie Your Mother Down, which
nice.
Was kind of odd. It sounded good guitar-wise and, musically, and he sounded fine, except in those points in the song where Freddie Mercury screams high, he did that, and it didn't exactly come off the way it should, but everything else he sounded great on.
Yeah.
And, the crowd was really into it. There were a lot of, diehard fans, and it was kind of, it's one of the, kind of like I thought, there was a cross-pollination of different kinds of people there. I saw dudes wearing Pantera shirts, and then, you saw dudes that looked like they were the alternative geek from 1997, So it's like, everybody was there and having a great time and singing along to everything. So it's one of those fun outdoor shows, so I'm glad I went.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'd say that's a good string of some huge rock shows in the last couple of weeks.
That is. We got through it, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was like a 5-hour long podcast.
No. But no. Maiden, Metallica, Sammy Hagar. I mean, you can't.
Yeah. It's good to be alive, man.
Yeah.
Really is.
And hits are going to keep coming. I'm going to see Rammstein next week.
That's right.
We got Guns N' Roses and Foo Fighters later in the year.
Yep.
So the big acts keep coming.
Or maybe thinking about going to the Warped Tour.
Yeah, that'd be cool because
they got some different kind of shit going on this year.
A lot more metal than usual.
Yeah.
So, if you haven't paid attention, look up that lineup. If you like metal, you'll be kind of shocked at how.
Yeah, it's not your usual fare.
Yeah. They've got all those normal Warped bands in there, but they've also got way more stuff that's actually good.
That's right.
But yeah, anyway, if you're in the Tulsa area, July 1st, next Saturday, OTEP has a lot of great bands opening for them. Alter Blood, Machine in the Mountain, and Severmind.
Yes.
Hit one of those bands up, buy tickets from them, get out there and support these great bands at the Shrine in Tulsa.
That's right.
We've had all 3 of those bands on this podcast.
That's right. We have. And there are good ones, too.
Yeah. Machine in the Mountain. Love them. Severmind, Alter Blood. Look those up. SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. or thethunderunderground.com. Besides those bands, we mentioned Reliance Code, Screaming Red Mutiny. Both those have been on here. Grind and Fist of Rage, we mentioned them.
Local H has been on here.
Yeah. And then we've got all these guys like Gene Simmons from Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was on here once.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. He's pretty cool.
But we've had guys from Truck Fighters, King, Bullet Boys, He Is Legend.
Yeah, that's a cross right there. Bullet Boys to He Is Legend.
I'm bringing the diversity, man. That's how we got to do it.
Seven Dust, Shooter Jennings.
That's right.
Avatar, Great White. Hey, we've done so many that we can't even remember them now.
Can't even remember the list.
Corrosion Conformity, Death Angel.
Death Angel. Shit, now we're talking over each other. Just look it up, man. There's something for everybody. There really is.
Yep. It's all on YouTube at The Thunder Underground. It's on SoundCloud.com/Thunder-Underground. We're on Facebook and Twitter. Every Monday night at 7 p.m. 1027WSNR.com. Be sure and check that out there as well. Like I mentioned at the beginning, coming very soon, Bruce Kulick from Kiss and Grand Funk Railroad. Doc Coyle from God Forbid and Vegas Nerve. 3D in Your Face, two of the members from that band.
That's right.
And Grind.
Nice.
And that's just what we're letting you know about.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even know what the hell else we got working on.
Yeah. I mentioned two guys from Kiss. Paul Stanley will be on here within 2 months.
I wish. I hope.
Yeah. Adam Jode, we'll let you submit a question.
Hell yes.
All right. Well, I think this is enough for this time. Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.